And our next matchup, we have the pretenders that are the Atlanta Falcons versus the Vikings. Vikings being favored by 5.5 and the over-under being 46. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about something briefly. I haven't seen a team in a long time that looks so pathetic and have that much weapons on their offense. And I'm talking about the Atlanta Falcons. You have two wide receivers who possibly could go over 1,000 yards receiving each. You have a running back who's going to rush over 1,000 yards. And you have a quarterback who's going to go over 4,000 yards passing. And they're 6-6. Do you trust them to do anything? They may win their division. I don't think so. I think the Buccaneers will. But they may win their division. Do you trust them to go anywhere if they win their division? No. They'll be one and done. It's just team is like so much false gold. It looks like you just scrape it and that ugly color will just come out of it. It just looks golden on the surface. Just keep on scratching and it's awful. That's how the Atlanta Falcons are. All these weapons and they can't put it together. The Falcons have lost 4 of the last 6 games. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They're 1-2 against the spread as underdogs, and they're 5-7 against the spread in general. Like I said, Kirk Cousins, he has over 3,000 yards passing, 17 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. So the guys turn the ball over. We know what their issue is. We all know what the Falcons' issue is. They cannot get after the quarterback whatsoever. They have a total of 15 sacks. It is week 14. They have a total of 15 sacks. That is straight pathetic. How does that Michael Penix draft pick look now? You could have drafted a defensive end, a linebacker who could rush the quarterback. No, you go draft a quarterback who's going to be a backup for a couple years, maybe a few years. So how does that look? Dumb moves by the Atlanta Falcons. You have all these weapons in place for the offense, but your defense, they can't rush nobody. The defensive line couldn't get past a paper bag. That's how bad the Falcons are at rushing the quarterback. So that Michael Penix pick is looking god awful. And let's talk about the Vikings. The Vikings are coming off a close win against a scrappy Cardinals team. The Cardinals had it there for a while, but the Minnesota Vikings pulled it out. This is now their 3rd game out of 4 that the Vikings won by 3 points or less. So they're not blowing teams out. Vikings as a team averaged 3.3 sacks a game, which ranks 2nd. But the Falcons allow the least amount of sacks. So that'll give Kirk Cousins, good old Kirk, to possibly torch the Vikings secondary. And the secondary is not so great for the Vikings. Vikings have the best rush defense in the league, but they're the bottom 5 of passing defense, like I mentioned. I think these teams, they're going to have a hard time getting after quarterbacks. I really do. The Falcons are going to. They can't get to nobody. So I also think Kirk Cousins will want to beat his old team in the Vikings. So I think this game is going to be close. I think the Atlanta Falcons could put up enough points because what's his name? Darnold is not too bad for the Vikings. He's been picking it up the last few games. So don't sleep on him. They have weapons in Justin Jefferson and Addison and Jones. Jones needs to stop fumbling the ball. And the Atlanta Falcons have weapons as well, like I explained before. But I think the Falcons and Kirk Cousins playing his old team, I think he's going to want a little revenge. And I think they keep it close enough. I just pray to God that the Falcons can at least get a couple sacks on Sam Darnold. So I'm going to throw my hat with the Atlanta Falcons, pray to the football gods, and hope the Falcons plus the 5.5 to cover this game. And God, they're going to need it.